This is Valerie from howtogrowperennialvegetables.com, and this is part 2 of the cutting exercise I started on 6/19, which was 2 weeks ago. I made cuttings of 2 different types of Okinawa spinach and purple leaf tree collards. So it's been 2 weeks, and the way you check to see if you're ready to transplant is to check for rooting. One way is to rip the actual cutting out of the flat, destroying all your roots, and the other way is to simply lift the bottom of, lift up the flat, look at the bottom, you see all those lovely little roots. When you see those roots, you know it's time to transplant. So that's a much safer way of determining the percentage of rooting rather than digging in there and ripping those little cuttings up. Avoid doing that. Okay, so I have some soil media all mixed up. I've got peat moss, I've got pumice, I've got vermiculite, and I have a little bit of compost in here, just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these cuttings that are rooted out of the flat and transplant them into these 4-inch containers to get bigger roots, and then eventually we'll plant them in the garden. A couple of ways to take them out of your flat is using your own hand, or you can go to a craft store and get these little like popsicle sticks that are plant tags. That helps also dig things out. These are actually better for seedlings, and some people like to use these little chopstick guys. And also this is really good for getting in there and scooping up the roots in their entirety. So I like to use my hands, so I'm going to start over here with the Okinawa spinach. And I'm going to take one of these cuttings out, and I try not to disturb the roots too much, but you can see this thing has went crazy with the roots. This is 2 weeks. Remember I made the cuttings in the last video? This is 2 weeks later. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fill up this 4-inch flat, about 1/4 of the way. I'm going to nestle those roots right in there, and then I'm going to put the media right on top, nestle that in. This media is very, very moist, and that's what you want. You want to make sure the media is very, very moist, and I'm just going to stick it here, right here in my empty flat, which is going to hold all of the containers. So I'm going to fill up my 4-inch pot, about 1/4 of the way. I'm going to get into this flat. I'm going to gently nudge my cutting out. You see those lovely roots? Pretty amazing. Here, I'll do something you shouldn't do. You should always keep all of the media with it. Don't take it off, don't pierce, don't pull all the little particles out. You're just destroying the roots. But what I'm going to do is just to show you where this thing rooted, we're going to do that today. So, you can see the roots are forming all along the bottom portion of the stem here. And we dipped the bottom of this stem in a 200 part per million ABA solution, the dip and grow. So look at that. So I'm just going to gently nudge all those roots back down in the soil, and everything is so moist that he should be just fine, or she will be just fine. So we'll put that there. So that's Okinawa spinach, and I'm going to just keep going. But it's pretty remarkable how quickly these rooted up just in the 2 weeks. Take these here. And when you're putting the soil in, be very gentle. You've made a lovely soil that holds a lot of air. You do not want to pack this down and really cram it in there. What you're going to do is you're going to crush all those air pore spaces, and that's bad for the roots. This wants a lot of oxygen down there trapped in those soil particles, that artificial soil media. So don't pack it down. You do want to leave a little space, little lip space or head space right here, so that when it does get watered, the water will not spill over. It'll fill the pot here and then go all the way down. Alright, so that's 2 different forms of the Okinawa spinach. And next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill up one more pot here and check out our purple leaf tree collard. Lovely roots on this guy too. Pretty amazing, I know. We're going to gently put some soil around the base. You want to put your cutting right in the center of the pot. You want to point it straight up. You want to just tamp the soil down. You don't want to firmly smash it down. And look at that, brand new purple leaf tree collard. There we go. I'll do one more of these, and I think you got the idea. This particular cutting is already starting to branch out. It's got 2 to 3 more branches coming out, and the foliage that I started with. So here we are. Purple leaf tree collard, rooted up 2 weeks later. 2 types of Okinawa spinach, rooted up 2 weeks, 2 weeks in the hothouse. And these will spend about another week to 10 days in the lath house, which has a higher intensity of light and a little bit less water to sort of wean them off. A lot of water, moisture, and humidity. And then after that, they're going to go straight in the garden, or if you wanted to hold them in these 4-inch pots for a little while until your garden's ready, no problem. They could probably stay in these pots, these 4-inch pots, if you limit the amount of any type of nutrient you give them for 2 months or so. And then you're going to have to transplant them because they're going to get root bound. That's it for the update. This is Valerie from howtogrowperennialvegetables.com. Thanks for watching. And remember, you can do this.